Hello, welcome to Introduction to Spatial Order. You're about to embark on an activity that will help you understand what spatial order is and how important it is. Make sure that you follow all directions. To begin with, you need some supplies. Grab 2 sheets of paper and a pencil or a pen. I'm going to give you a series of 6 steps. What I need you to do is follow those steps to the best of your ability in the order that I give them. If you need to, pause this video so you can, or rewind it and play it again so you get each step correct. Are you ready? Okay, here's the first exercise. We're going to do 2 separate exercises. Okay, step 1. Okay, grab that piece of paper and your pencil, and I want you to draw a 4-inch square. Step 2. Draw a triangle that is 3 inches tall and 5.5 inches wide. Step 3. Draw a rectangle that is 2 inches tall by 1 inch wide. Step 4. Draw a circle that is 1/4 inch in diameter. Step 5. Draw 2 1.5 inch squares. Step 6. Draw 2 plus signs that are about 1.5 inches tall and wide. Okay, did you get all that? If not, feel free to pause the video here, rewind it a bit, and work through all 6 steps. Make sure you get them down exactly and accurately. Okay, here's the second exercise. I want you to grab your second piece of paper, grab your pencil and pen, and then listen to each one step carefully and follow the directions exactly. Step 1. Draw a 4-inch square so that the bottom of this square is about 1 inch away from the bottom of the paper. Make sure the square is centered midway between the left and right margins of the paper. Step 2. Draw a triangle that is 3 inches tall and 5.5 inches wide. One point of the triangle should point to the top of the page. The bottom side of the triangle should touch the top of the square that you drew in step 1. Center the triangle over the square. Step 3. Inside the large square that you drew in step 1, draw a rectangle that is 2 inches tall by 1 inch wide. The bottom edge of the triangle should touch the bottom edge of the square. Remember, the rectangle should be inside the square. Center the rectangle between the right and left hand sides of the square. Step 4. Inside the rectangle that you drew in step 3, draw a circle that is 1/4 inch in diameter. Place this circle so that it is centered between the top and bottom of the rectangle. The circle should also be very close to, but not touching, the right-hand edge of the rectangle. Step 5. Draw 2 1.5 inch squares in the square that you drew in step 1. So each square should be in the top half of the larger square, one towards the right-hand side of the large square, and one towards the left-hand side of the large square. There should be an even amount of space between the left-hand side of the large square, the first small square, the second small square, and the right-hand side of this large square. So in between each one, you should probably have about 1/2 inch between the edge of the square, the large square, and between each small square. Step 6. Draw 2 plus signs that are about 1.5 inches tall and wide. One of the plus signs should go inside one of the smaller squares that you drew in step 5. The other plus sign should go inside the other small square that you drew in step 5. Okay, are you finished? If so, let's go ahead and take a look at your first paper. Did it look, maybe it looked something like this, or did it look like this? Were you confused perhaps where you should place these things? Now let's go ahead and pull out your second paper. Okay, do you have something that kind of resembles a house? Maybe you're a little confused, but does it look more like this? If so, the big difference here is that I gave you signal words that indicated where things should go. And that's what we do when we're discussing spatial order. Spatial order allows us to understand how things are arranged in a space. So as opposed to logical order or time order, where one thing happens after another thing after another thing, when you're describing something, you have to utilize terms that indicate that it's spatial order. Additionally, as readers, we need to understand those keys. So Things like at the bottom of the square, or the square is centered, or the bottom side of the triangle, or the point faces up. All those things are indicators to us that something is arranged spatially. And if we understand those signal words, then you'll be one step closer to being a very effective reader.